There was a line in Tesla's latest 10K filing that is making headlines. They reported, and I quote, "Last January 2021, we updated our investment policy to provide us with more flexibility to further diversify and maximize returns on the cash that is not required to maintain adequate operating liquidity." Wow. It went on to say they're going to begin accepting Bitcoin as a form of payment soon, and that they may or may not liquidate that Bitcoin when they get it. The cryptosphere just got way bigger, and today Bitcoin is at a new all-time high. Of course, we saw it coming. We even talked about it here on Dumb Money. The idea that Tesla putting their cash into Bitcoin would in itself cause the price of Bitcoin to go up. It's kind of like the perfect investment. Elon even signaled that it was coming too. A little over a week ago, he changed his Twitter bio to say Bitcoin, and he tweeted, in retrospect, it was inevitable. So today on Dumb Money, how Tesla's investment in Bitcoin changes everything, and our $3 million investment in the future of the crypto. We are Dumb Money.
Three friends who turned $30,000 into $30 million using nothing more than Twitter and a zero commission trading account.
The suits that work on Wall Street, they call those people with smart money. That's not us.
Our goal is to help level the playing field for everyday investors.
We are Dumb Money.
Hey there, Dave here along with Christian Jordan. We are Dumb Money. New little intro there. Hope you guys liked that. Welcome to the show. It is a major day for Bitcoin investors and speculators and miners and pretty much everyone involved in the universe here. Chris, Jordan, I can't even remember which day we talked about this, but we definitely saw it coming. Did you guys find that clip?
Can someone who's watching today, let's see who the true Dumb Money fans are. In the last 2 weeks, we spent during one of our episodes, we spent about 10 minutes talking about exactly what ended up happening today. We said that Elon and Tesla were going to make a major investment. They were probably already acquiring crypto. They were going to announce it soon. That it'd be a huge boom for the crypto market. It was like, it's not, listen, we weren't the only ones talking about this, but we were fairly confident this was going to happen. Can you tell us what episode we said that in? Because we can't find it. It was in the last 2 weeks. If somebody could help us find that clip, so
we are so disorganized.
Oh, we are the worst, dude. We're the worst.
We have made a significant investment in Bitcoin. I mean, I actually haven't made any additional investment. I have my crypto portfolio that I've talked about numerous times, all in Coinbase, and I had a 60-40 split with Bitcoin and Ethereum, somewhere around $200,000. It's now worth twice that. Chris, what did you do?
I have, I upped my when we had that conversation, right when we had it, I upped my Bitcoin stake considerably. As of today, I think I'm at or over $2 million in Bitcoin. I also upped my Ethereum stake this last week. As you know, I purchased some Riot Bitcoin mining stock about a week and a half ago. I also purchased a significant stake in a pre-IPO private company that's a Bitcoin mining stock that, you know, from what I understand is the largest mining stock in terms of, you know, volume, daily, I'm going to say this all the wrong way, relative to all the other publicly traded ones, and that's going to come on the market in a few months, so I'm glad I did that. Dave, me and you, our audience doesn't know this, and we can't talk about it too much, but we made a major investment.
A private investment.
Private investment in one of the big crypto exchanges. That is something that was exceptionally difficult for us to do, and we almost did not pull the trigger on it because it was a pretty expensive investment. It doubled in valuation during the time we were negotiating the deal, and we almost pulled out of it. So like, is this really worth it? Now, today, it looks like we made the right decision. We can't discuss it yet, but we will discuss it as soon as we can. It was the process that we went through was so interesting that I think that deserves a show in and within itself when we're allowed to discuss it, because a lot of these deals have NDAs involved with these with secret transactions.
This one in particular.
Yes. So that is going to be a really exciting future episode. But Dave, I think we're in really good shape there. At first, I was like, I think we'll do okay. You know, I think the risk reward is worth the you know, the lack of liquidity that we were having to throw out of the market and into this private market. But I'm really happy with that investment. We're pretty levered in the crypto world right now.
So, Jordan, let's talk about your crypto holdings. What is
Zero.
your...
Zero crypto holdings.
Now, are you
Crypto
kicking yourself? Are
companies.
you regretting that?
It's, I invest in other things. It doesn't bother me anyway. I hope that people that invest in crypto do well. Like it just doesn't affect me. I don't care. It's not something I don't see it. I think a lot of people see it really clearly, and it's just something that I don't see. And so I look for things that I do see, and I invest in those things.
This is an important topic. I'm glad you said that, Jordan. And by the way, Jordan has the best attitude out of anyone when he doesn't invest in something and it does well. Dave does as well.
I'm the same. Like, I'm not an investor in Peloton, for example, and I love it that you guys are killing it in that stock.
I'm happy when I know people that are doing really well, but I'm really miserable when I miss out on. Like, I'm not good at that. I have severe FOMO sometimes. I really take it personally when I miss something.
Yeah. Well, and I do too, and that's why I'm invested in some things that I don't have as high of conviction on, just as a FOMO trade. I was in GameStop, for example, as a FOMO trade. That didn't work out so well for me.
But you FOMO'd into what's the other one that did well for you? So.
Well, I'm not in Doge. I'm not in Dogecoin.
No, the headphone company.
Oh, the headphone costs. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you FOMO'd
so
into
basically, I broke even. My costs winnings more than made up for my GameStop losses. It is absolutely and I talked about this a lot. It is. You're casino gambling when you're playing with these high-flying stocks, and I kind of feel like you're doing that with some of the alt coins or even the meme coins like Dogecoin, which we need to do a whole episode on Dogecoin. I don't want to get into it too much today because that in itself is a story that we need to dedicate a significant portion of a show to. But I think my whole thesis on Bitcoin is it is the brand name that if you're going to make a speculative bet on one of these, for me, Bitcoin is the one that makes sense because it's the one that just seems to be the one that's going to be the ultimate survivor.
Well, guys, I see it. You might be right, Dave. I try to view this all through a social arb lens, and I think this brings up a really important topic that is really timely. And I do want to take a minute to read an email that was sent to me that really set me on fire this weekend. That's related to today's episode, tomorrow's episode, and quite honestly, the episodes we've been doing for 2 weeks. For those of y'all that have been watching, for the Dumb Money OGs, the guys and girls have been watching us for the past year and a half, you know that we are social arb investors. By the way, you also know we're not financial advisors, and we do not want you to trade on what we trade on because we have a very different risk tolerance. This show's about really us collaborating together to help surface opportunities, vet opportunities together. You poke holes in our thesis. We'll poke holes in your thesis on our Dumb Money Discord, which you can see through dumbmoney.tv. There's an invite there. That's what this whole channel's about. It's a collaborative social arb channel. And, before this market got real crazy, it was fairly, I think, black and white in terms of what a social arb investment was, because most of our investments were about identifying a product trend or a brand trend or a change in consumer behavior or a change in technology or a change in culture, okay? And I appreciate that a lot of the Dumb Money OGs, you learned social arb investing so well that the last few weeks, you're like, what are you guys doing to the channel talking about EV SPACs and YOLO trades and crypto? And I think a lot of our original followers, quite honestly, guys, have gotten a little annoyed with us the past couple weeks. And I want to explain myself. I think this is really important because this is an email that I got. I'm not going to say who it came from, but it's someone that's been communicating with me for quite some time. Chris, I do have to agree with the people in the comment section. You used to be about finding winning stocks such as Piton, Vista Outdoors, TAN, etc. Lately, it seems like you're just pumping and dumping shitty SPACs. Let's get the old Chris back that found the community winning trades. I like your channel because I play pump with you guys, which is just super weird.
Well, that's the wrong.
Yeah, hold on. But that pissed me off. But people are crazy to believe that you're actually going to be holding those shitty SPACs long term. GIC, Stick, and all these failed miserably. I am holding NGA because of you. As long as you're first in with you guys and first out, this channel makes the community money and the rest become better. Dude, like that.
It's the exact opposite of what this channel is all about.
Dude.
We are not about, don't ever invest the way we invest or just say, oh, just because we're buying something, that's something you should buy. It's a way of thinking. We're detecting these changes, and when the change is not a stock, but it's a change in the way people are investing, like a whole Reddit thing happening. If we were to not talk about the whole Reddit thing happening, we'd be missing a huge side of what's going on in the world of investing.
It was,
and the SPAC thing. So the SPAC, I mean, there is a SPAC boom right now.
Absolutely. We didn't invent it. We didn't find it.
They would have been, but you just, I mean, I treat them very differently than Chris treats them, which is very different from how anybody else should treat them, right? You should, if you have that risk appetite and you want some, you know, it's a decision you have to make for yourself. It's not something that we're telling you to do.
But guys, let's get back to basics. Jordan, back to basics. Here's the thing that pissed me off the most, okay? This is arbing a change in investor behavior.
Right.
The same way that we arb a change in consumer behavior, a change in culture, a change in technology, a change in government regulations, a change in the administration. We are trying to early detect and arb a change in investor behavior. Now, let me say this. Normally, we don't do that. Why? Because normally change in investor behavior is not a big thing. It hasn't been for the past 10 years. But in the last few months, I have seen a bigger change in investor behavior than I have seen in 32 years. And if you think that I'm not going to try to trade that, you're insane. Also, a SPAC, guys, I will say it again. I don't like the structure of SPACs because it wastes a lot of money on the sponsorship teams, okay, 25%. But SPACs are bringing a lot of amazing companies to public markets sooner. It's opening up more opportunities. I love every single SPAC that I'm invested in. And you know what? For the most part, I don't know if I've sold hardly any SPACs that I bought. I think I'm 100% invested in every single one.
I haven't sold any of mine either.
I haven't sold anything.
I've added to my stick, and like
for me, a SPAC is just a way to basically be involved in like a pre-IPO of a company, right? The way we would traditionally use our leverage in the world to be able to say, oh well, yeah, we have the money and we can find these deals and we can get in early. SPACs kind of level the playing field. Now, they are super risky. It's not for everyone, but you should be allowed to invest in them. And we're just telling you what we do. We're telling you how we invest.
Right. And guys, I traded in and out of a few of these SPACs, but for the most part, I'm in most of them and have been adding to them for the most part. And I will say this, like the one trade, when anyone uses the word pump around, understand something. I pump up myself when it comes to stuff. Like Charles and Covard was a legitimate, I was excited about a microcap and very nervous to talk about it on this show. But I did. But you know what? I didn't sell one share after that thing exploded on earnings. Not even one share. I was like, you know, and when we talk about the end of this episode, we will talk about Charles and Covard and what I'm doing and what I think is the play for me. But guys, that really pissed me off. I will not respond to any more emails that I get that are even remotely. I did respond to this one quite harshly, and we had a back and forth. But I'm really upset that someone would interpret this channel like that, because if anyone that knows us knows that's not what we're about. We are about sharing. This channel started because we were having these conversations every day, guys, alone, the three of us, off air, right? Like, this is our life. And all we're doing is filming what we do anyway. We were doing it anyway. Now we're doing it on our YouTube channel and just filming it. The conversations between me, Dave, and Jordan that we would have had. And
Same way in the startup world, we were having those meetings anyway, and we decided to start bringing cameras. That was how the original Dumb Money channel started. And when we stopped going to all those meetings, rather than filming Zoom calls with startups, that just seemed very boring. Who wants to watch that? We decided, we're having these phone calls anyway, talking about stocks every day. Why don't we just hit the stream button on our Zoom call?
Yeah.
Now, Chris.
And by the way, thank God, thank
Chris,
goodness for
our
trading
audience
the Reddit
needs you
trade.
to take a breath. It's time to breathe.
Fine.
You need to download that app and just.
Fine.
It's time for meditation, center, and now.
Okay, let's get back to Tesla then. Excuse me. Bitcoin, Tesla,
Bitcoin and Tesla. I mean, it's the Tesla influence on Bitcoin that is making, to me, it's legitimizing it. The same way we predicted that would be a legitimizing factor for Bitcoin, which obviously for me is the most legitimate coin out there. That's the one I'm most heavily invested in. I just love that Tesla is now in it, and my significant stake in Tesla and Bitcoin are perfectly in alignment now.
Hey guys, all I care about
convergence. Isn't that there's a
Yeah, they're converging.
I don't care about any
Worlds
of
are
that,
colliding. To Mars.
I love that shirt. I don't care about any of that. You know that I am not quite sold yet on Bitcoin or crypto, and I own 7 figures of it. Why do I own it? Because I'm an ARB investor. I'm a social ARB investor, and the bottom line is I am seeing an expansion, okay, of the investor base for Bitcoin. The same way I saw an expansion of the investor base for GameStop and for AMC, and why I made all the money on those stocks last week, a week and a half ago, okay? Now I'm out of them. So I'm seeing a massive expansion in Bitcoin. I've been seeing it since this summer. That's when I started investing in Bitcoin. Tesla is simply going to increase, in my opinion, the expansion of the investor base. You call it legitimacy, Dave. I call it perceived legitimacy. Okay, so we kind of agree with each other. I don't know that I totally agree in terms of legitimacy, but perceived legitimacy is all that matters.
If you're talking Bitcoin, perception is all that matters because it's not a real thing, right? It's a mathematical formula, and the only reason gold is valuable is because there's a limited supply of it. It doesn't really do much. Yes, there's some industrial uses for it, but the reality is it was the historic value of gold was that I have some and you don't, and so therefore it has value, right?
Well, the biggest thing with gold is it's inert, right? And so, like, you know, it doesn't corrode, and so it's been valuable for a long time. I'm not a gold bug. I don't buy but I don't buy it for the same reason that I don't buy Bitcoin, is that it doesn't produce anything, and so I only really invest in companies. That's my choice, but.
Listen, Bitcoin, as long as I think that demand for Bitcoin will expand at a rapid rate, more so than people's lack of wanting to own Bitcoin, I'm understanding the culture. I spent the last 2 years focused on the culture of Bitcoin, not focused on the fundamentals of Bitcoin, okay? So my view on the fundamentals of Bitcoin have not changed much in the last few years. My view on the culture of Bitcoin investors and the movement and the psychology of why people purchase Bitcoin, why institutions now purchase Bitcoin, and why I think more institutions than ever before over the next 2 years will continue to buy Bitcoin because Elon basically gave them a green light to do so. He gave them a cover your butt to do so, okay? So I think there's a concept that I think is being underappreciated, which is that Bitcoin is a way for any company to have a cool factor with a younger generation, Gen Z, younger millennials, tech savvy, by simply embracing the currency in any nominal way. Your company all of a sudden overnight changes face and looks more like Tesla, okay? That we know is good for market cap. That we know has a perception of being positive, not negative, for a large part of the younger half of this country. And that is what I am focused on. I'm not saying that other companies should buy Bitcoin. I'm saying that I believe other companies will because of a perception play, because of a cultural movement that is happening that I think is going to continue to build over the next couple of years. Now, I might or might not personally believe in that cultural movement or the narrative behind it, but that doesn't actually matter. Because I believe it's happening, I've chosen to add to my Bitcoin. I've chosen to add to my Ethereum. I've chosen to buy Bitcoin miners. I've chosen to invest in Bitcoin exchanges, okay? That, I think, is the social R play here, because I think most investors are either you're all in or you don't understand it. You're not really looking at it from a social ARB investor's point of view. And that's the one thing I want to get across today, guys. This isn't about just following an Elon pump, okay? This is an actual social ARB perspective on the Bitcoin and the crypto sector, okay?
So Chris,
that's why we're doing this
in the past month or so, you have doubled down on your positioning in crypto across the board. crypto itself, companies that support the crypto industry, that sort of thing. What would you do right now? Are you going to buy more Bitcoin now that it's legitimized and it's a currency of choice for, well, maybe not of choice, but a currency that's accepted for Tesla purchases? Or are you going to be taking a wait and see? I'm happy where I am now, and if it drops 50%, then I'm going to buy some more. What are you thinking?
I feel, Dave, like I have. Listen, I just added, that, right? So like I think I have a fairly robust. I've spent a lot of time with you guys over the past month discussing what our crypto strategy would be and what it should look like and how it should be balanced between the coins itself, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and the miners and the exchanges. So I have a fairly heavy, I think quite honestly right now, if you include my investments in all three of those and what they're currently valued at,
is it roughly 10% of your portfolio?
Yeah. It's about 10% of my portfolio if you include all three of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think at 10% of my total portfolio, I think that's a comfortable amount for me. I will continue to make adjustments if I see news coming out, short-term adjustments, but I'm fairly initially I started out at 2.5%. Remember, I was 2%. Now I'm at 10% of my total portfolio. And I'm not a believer. I'm not what I mean is I don't actually believe some of the narratives that are underneath the cultural movement, but it doesn't matter. I'm not saying I'm a non-believer, by the way. I'm not saying I'm agnostic, okay? I haven't made my decision yet. So it's like, for me, I'm still trying to figure it out, but my opinion doesn't matter. And I think that's the biggest lesson here is that anyone on this channel, your personal opinion doesn't matter. What we should focus more about is what we think the rest of the world is going to be doing for various. They might be doing it for the wrong reasons. By the way, you might. And see I'm
only interested in how much you have invested as a percentage of your portfolio, because that helps me gauge what is your level of conviction versus my level of conviction. Yeah. I'm at about a half as much as you. So if you're at 10%, I'm about at 5% of my portfolio. But I wish I were in more. I wish I had actually made that move and gotten up to that 10% before this whole Tesla thing happened. So I'm kicking myself.
I mean, it's only up 10%, Dave. You just buy some more.
I could buy some more, but I feel like this is the worst time to do it.
Like overnight. It's up 10%. Just buy some if you want some.
It might not be. It might not be a bad idea, Dave. Again, I think it's really. We always talk about this. Whenever you see a massive change happening, that's an anomaly or black swan event, something that really we haven't been through before, meaning it's the very first time that we've gone through this as a world, as a society. It could be a massive market crash. It could be a massive change in culture. We never really, we always underestimate the repercussions of that change, right? How big it can actually be. We always say that it takes a lot longer for that change to happen than we think, but when the change actually ends up happening, it could be exponentially bigger than we ever would have dreamed it would be. I don't know what this DeFi movement with decentralization, I think all of this is going to happen slower than we anticipate, but when it actually really happens, it could be so much massively bigger than we're even estimating right now that I feel like it's insane for me not to have a reasonable piece of my portfolio in that world, because it could take 10, 15, 20 years, but when it happens, watch out. Guys, we talk about this, does it not make sense for finance to become completely decentralized in terms of even trading equities? It's insane what's going on. What happened with Robinhood was insane. That should be, I know it's going to take a decade to potentially even theoretically make that happen, but exchanges need to be on the blockchain. Like that stuff, that has to happen at some point. It just doesn't make any sense any other way.
Let's look at some of the comments that are coming in. Isn't there a limited supply of Bitcoin? Yes, there is. It's a mathematical formula. It continues to get created. It becomes exponentially more processing intensive to mine that very last Bitcoin, but there is a limited supply, and at some point all of it will have been produced, and there's no way to then make more. So yes. And then this other question or comment, I don't believe in Bitcoin at, hang on, I don't have a monitor that's big enough for me to read this. Here we go. I don't believe in Bitcoin. At the end, it's a fight against the Fed. Don't fight the Fed and think about whatever it takes. Bitcoin will collapse like silver after margin increase. What are your thoughts on Bitcoin versus fiat currency and the Fed's ability to, don't fight the Fed. It's almost an anti-argument because the Fed, their only power is to make more money, right? And that's the one thing,
right? So their
first of all,
is to change rates.
Silver never crashed. I don't know when people are talking about silver crash. Silver's up to 25 and a half. It never crashed. It popped up one day, it came back the next day, and then it went back. You guys are being ridiculous. I was in silver for like 48 hours. But guys, the Fed does listen. There could be regulatory issues with Bitcoin. That could be coming. We know that. It's a real
we've seen it happen with
factor.
certain countries, right? So didn't India ban Bitcoin?
Yes, it's a real risk factor, Jordan.
Yep.
It's real, okay?
Yep.
So anyone investing in Bitcoin needs to understand that. At the same time, you could spend weeks studying what the repercussions of that would be. And I think half of economists would say, you know what, it's a net negative for Bitcoin. The other half would say it's a net positive, right? In a weird way, because it just strengthens the decentralization movement if governments start to push back on it. And you can only have so much control over it. At some point, when the people want what they want, you just can't stop the people. It's all there is to it, right? So it's not because you can't, it's because it's politically not in favor to do so. Okay, like Jordan, what do you think it would be?
For governments, it just makes taxation, a little bit more of a headache, right? And so
there's a way. There's a way to handle it for taxation. No, there's a way. There are so many. I don't think anything is going to happen quickly. I think in terms of legislation and regulation related to cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin specifically, I think it's coming. I don't think it's coming this year. I don't think it's coming right now. I think that will happen in time. And I think as we start to hear rumors about, how that will happen, it will either be positive or negative for Bitcoin at any period of time, and it will result in fluctuations in the currency. But it's a risk I'm willing to take. There's not a single investment out there that doesn't come with risk. And I love the fact that we're talking about this because anyone that watches this channel knows that we are not crypto heads, right? Like that's not who we are. We aren't these guys that are just like pushing Bitcoin and pushing, blockchain at every which way. Like we're looking at this really pragmatically as social arb investors. We don't really care about any particular investment. I didn't care about AMC when I made $1.5 million on it in 3 days, right? I didn't have any interest in being an owner of AMC. I was social arb trading it for a few days. That's it. I'm social arb trading Bitcoin right now, and this arb trade might last for years. It could last for a decade or more.
Yeah, I think it's long term. Everything that we're talking about today is long term. It's not like 43,000 is going to be the all-time high for Bitcoin. I think it will go down at some point, but I don't. That's where I can't decide when to buy more.
That's why I don't invest in it because there's no reason for the value to be any particular thing, right? And so I don't I love the technology. I think it's genius, and I think that it should be applied in different areas that it's not being applied to right now. And I think. I think a lot of things. I just don't think that it's something that I want to invest in because it doesn't seem like an investment to me. It just seems like pure speculation.
Yeah, and that's always been part of your investment criteria, Jordan.
Right.
I don't hold that investment criteria. Listen, gold should never have been worth any much the last 20 years, right? Or gone.
That's why I don't buy gold. There's certain people that do,
exactly.
And they love it. I don't do that.
Yeah, and so I don't really care. I look at it through a different lens. And by the way, some people are saying, Chris, you're a FOMO head. There was a point in time, I will admit, there was a point in time when my Bitcoin investment was pure FOMO driven, okay? It was FOMO driven.
I can tell you my entire portfolio of Bitcoin was FOMO driven.
Not any longer for me. It's not
it has
FOMO
changed.
driven
No,
right
absolutely.
now.
And that's why I want to actually be more into Bitcoin. To me, it seems irresponsible to go more heavily into margin to then buy Bitcoin, right? That just seems like a weird place to be, so I haven't done it yet. But maybe if I start, I need to look at my whole portfolio and get out now on some of the things that I feel like I've already made that social arb move that I wanted. Some of my core holdings I'll continue to hold, but I might need to trim some of my lower conviction portion of my portfolio and then move some of that into Bitcoin. And I'm going to do that. I just don't know when. You guys stay tuned, and I will share with you as I go through this process.
Some of the comments make me think that a lot of these people tuned in just in the last 2 minutes, or they weren't getting it. This isn't a FOMO trade. They're like, how's this social arb trade? Again, it's the cultural shift that's happening that will likely, in my opinion, for me, motivate more people and more institutions to embrace Bitcoin, because they feel that by purely embracing it, it makes them more relatable and seem more, in tune with the next generation of customers and investors, okay? So to me, that's the social arb trade that's being misunderstood, ignored, not seen, not appreciated by the investing market to any large extent. So that's my thesis. Poke holes in it if you want, guys. Let's get in Discord.
Almost the same way back in, I remember that Thanksgiving when everyone was talking about Bitcoin back in like 2018, 2017. And that was like this huge moment where it has now become mainstream, where your grandma is asking how to open a Coinbase account, right? That was, to me, like, not really necessarily the time to buy, because it was at like this all-time fever pitch, and we did see that it dropped. But that was a turning point in the legitimacy of Bitcoin from a popular acceptance kind of, everyone wanted it. And then we've seen over time it corrected and has made its comeback. So I think the same thing could happen here. That's why I'm not rushing to jump into more Bitcoin, but I definitely want to position myself long term with a probably right around 10 to maybe even 15% of my portfolio in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and supporting companies that enable the technology.
Yeah, exactly, Dave. And like I said, the jury's still out for me on the fundamental story. It's something that I want to eventually have better insight into. I want to have a stronger opinion on it. I wish I can come out today and say, here's my opinion on the future, the fundamental future of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in general. And I'm not going to have that opinion. My opinion would be worthless, because I've been thinking about it for 3 years. And my opinion is no more solidified today than it was 3 years ago. And I think about this constantly. But a lot of people like having an opinion. I won't share an opinion if it's just fluff. And I'm still unsettled as to the fundamental story of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. For me, that's not why I'm investing. I'm not investing because I believe in that. I'm social arbing it, as I already kind of explained. So that's it. That's the trade for us, not for you guys. Listen, we want you guys to now take what we said. Let's start a conversation. Get in the Dumb Money Discord. Poke holes in it. Let's debate it. What are we missing? Like, where's our assumption wrong, right? And so, or where maybe there's other better arguments that are social arb oriented for Ethereum and Bitcoin and Doge, whatever, right? It doesn't even matter. Let's start that conversation. That's what this channel is about. And this is a big change that's happened today. Listen, Elon's move, Tesla's move today, that is a massive, massive change, or will have, I believe, a ripple effect across the business community that we need to think about, okay? And figure out what that means for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies and the blockchain at large and other providers, right? Like, we have IPOs that will be happening this year. We already have exchanges that have IPO'd. And we have miners that have IPO'd and will be IPOing this year. So
Can we talk now about our last pure social arb trade, which was that small cap, micro cap, what was it, $50 billion or $50 million market cap or something? Like
Charles
you wanted to just buy the whole company? Charles and Colvard, yeah.
Charles and Colvard. It's CTHR. If you haven't seen this episode, guys, go watch it. And by the way, I'm so upset, Dave. Though, we didn't even pull like a G trends chart during that episode on just
Did we not?
I
thought we did.
I don't think we missed.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Missed that. So we were so sidetracked. Anyway, listen. I have not sold a single share, and here's why. Do I think the immediate social arb trade is over on Charles and Colvard? Yes, I do. I think it's over. And in fact, if I was trading this as a social arb short-term trade, I would have sold 100% my Charles and Colvard on Friday. I didn't sell it
on their earnings.
On their earnings. I would have sold out that day. I'm going to give you 2 reasons why I didn't. First, I have a weird guilt that if I sell out on Friday, I'm gonna be, there's a perception that I have a big position and now I'm depressing the market for other traders that saw our show and now they can't get out. Remember that whole line in that email that was sent to me about how if you get out for, I want to be at last. I don't even want anybody ever questioning me, especially on a micro cap, that I tried to pull a pump and dump. That is my worst nightmare as a human, to be even remotely associated with a pump and dump. So guys, even if I wanted to exit on Friday, there's a 0% chance that I would, because I'm so paranoid that I would wait an extra full week to exit. So I didn't for that reason. But the other reason why I didn't exit that investment was because I do think that there's a longer term social arb trade here that's a longer term cultural transition away from diamonds to lab mined diamonds, which Charles and Colvard does. We didn't talk about that much, but they actually now have a lab mined diamond that's carbon based, okay? In addition to lab mined moissanite, of which of course Charles and Colvard is the brand leader, okay? So I actually think that this company has more social arb opportunity as an investor than just what happened this quarter. Now, am I taking a big risk? Yes, I am, by staying in, but it's something that I'm willing to personally do, because I don't, listen, it's a very small part of my portfolio. It was $100 and some odd $1,000 trade that's up 50% in a week. Great, I love that, but I'm gonna stick with it for now. So I just want to come out and make sure that everybody knew I didn't sell any of my shares, but if you're trading it for a short-term social arb trade, I think Friday probably would have been the opportune point when I would have sold my shares if I didn't believe in the longer term story.
Yeah. And Chris, I think the majority of our audience gets it. I don't think we need to harp on the anti-pump and dump thing.
Yeah.
The few people who say that are the ones that get under your skin, but you just need to learn to...
I had to say it one time, and I got off my chest. It's off my chest, okay? I've been all weekend I've been waiting for that, so I had to get off my chest. How about you guys? Are you still in?
I'm still in.
I'm such a small amount. Like I said, I'm holding it for a long time just in case this whole thing takes off.
And I'm in it. I have not sold. I had 35,000 shares, and I'm still in it. Get your screenshots ready. Here's a live look at my portfolio. And Charles and Colvard here near the bottom, my 35,000 shares. I'm up $30,000. That's a 50% gain.
Dave, I will say this. I am going to closely monitor the data. I'm going to monitor the Google trends. I'm going to monitor TikTok. Are people still continuing to make these videos? Are they still getting traction? Are people still discussing moissanite in a positive way? I'm going to continue to make channel checks to dealers that sell Charles and Colvard jewelry. Hertzberg, I'm saying it wrong.
Hurlsberg.
Macy's. So I'm going to continue to do that every few weeks, probably at least once a month. Yeah. And if the data starts to turn the other way, I might exit that position in like 2 seconds. So just full transparency. That's how I'm viewing it. Guys, if you're in Discord, let's keep an eye on.
I basically want to hear what the Discord community thinks, because I haven't really done the research that you have on this one. I got into this because I read a high conviction Discord report. I saw in TikTok it happen, and I don't know if it's because I was searching for these videos and watched a few of them, but now in my For You feed, I'm getting them. So that algorithm is so fine-tuned, or they're actually showing up. I don't know, have a good way of judging what's actually trending on TikTok, because the For You feed is so highly customized.
You can check hashtag oh wait, no, you can't. There's no search bar. You got to do that on Instagram. Actually.
Yeah. So there's other ways that I can search for it, but on TikTok, I don't have a good way for my in my research, be able to do that. If someone has a better way of how do you quantify what's going on TikTok,
you still can.
let me know.
I think you can on TikTok. You can still check.
You can look at total views and things like that, but it's is it trending, or is it just like everything? It's there's probably something in every topic that you can find a video with 5 million views on TikTok.
Yeah, but you can see recency of the Moissanite videos and which ones are trending. Anyway, let's keep an eye on it. I think it's an interesting trade. I'm glad we did it. Great job, Discord community, on that one. I lost my train of thought, guys.
And I did see someone asking if I was still in CCIV. Chris, you're still in that, right?
I'm in CCIV. It's not like a huge position for me. I have a few $100,000 in it. Listen, it's blown my mind. This is why we invested in it. It wasn't because we were massive believers in Lucid Air, or Lucid as a company. It's because we thought, again, that the perception of how investors and customers would view this would be the most exciting company since Tesla, outside of China, in the EV space. And we thought that alone warranted fairly reasonable investment, because if it ends up being Lucid Air as part of this SPAC, guys, this is the only other way to play really consumer EV outside the big old school GMs and Fords of the world that are trying to back into it. So it's a pure play.
I'm still in that one too. It actually is a bigger percentage of my portfolio than I'm comfortable with at this point, because it did grow. I was looking for it. I was looking for it near the bottom of my screenshot there, and let me just pull it up live. This is here it is, way up here at almost 3% of my portfolio. That I don't like, and I probably will sell some of that.
So Dave, it's a big risk if it doesn't happen. I mean, all eyes are. It seems like it's going to happen, but gosh, there's a lot of risk. The valuation is crazy, at this point, for what these guys are doing. It really is. But does that even matter? I mean, like I said, you don't have a lot of options in pure play consumer EV outside of China. It's a fascinating story to watch. I have enough. I'm not selling right now. As you know, I prefer some of the EV trucking companies. That's where I have all my money, in the busing, Class 6, Class 8, Class 1, EV vans. That's where I have most of my EV money right now. We will be doing some additional EV episodes, guys, as well. We'll also be doing some episodes that focus more on the kind of heavy metal and mining and supply chain for the EV space. So if that interests you, please subscribe and also hit the bell. And we'll be talking about that over the next couple of months. It's an area that I think is a global generational shift, unlike we've seen in our lifetime. We weren't just latching on to all these EV SPACs. It's a thesis that I personally really believe in. And while these SPACs are super expensive, and I hate how expensive they are, I think long term, this is a generational change. And I'm not able to invest in these companies pre-IPO, pre-SPAC, unfortunately, at this point. And this is the only way I can get them. And I'm happy to take on that risk of the high valuations for where they are today versus where I think this sector's headed over the next decade.
And I see in the comments people asking about Dogecoin. That's something that we definitely are going to be talking about sometime this week. So if you're into that, subscribe and turn on the bell. And I will say, if you're not into what we're doing and you don't like us and you're just tuning in for the first time and never plan to come back, do not subscribe, because it actually messes up the algorithm if we have too many subscribers who don't come back. So only subscribe if you really like it.
Totally agree. And if we do talk about Dogecoin, I think we're not doing it as part of just, getting onto the Dogecoin train. It's because if we talk about it, and if we invest in it, it's because we see a social arb opportunity for Doge, and I'm not going to talk anymore about it.
And
today.
you bought it sight unseen just because someone private messaged you the 4 letters DOGE,
that's the wrong
right?
Stuff,
That was a
Dave.
different thing.
That was naked,
right?
That was naked.
Oh, that was naked? I thought you did that with...
No, that was naked. That was not
okay.
That was not Doge. I have been spending you'd be shocked how much time I've spent on Doge the last month, last 3 weeks.
Are you not in it right now?
I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'm going to talk about it this week when we talk about it. And because I honestly don't want to be judged for what I say about Doge until I have, some time to actually explain my viewpoint on it. It's I think it will surprise you.
Okay, well, we just got a $100 super chat from someone.
What?
And he didn't say anything, but I'm just going to say I'm taking that money and I'm putting it into Doge, and I'm going to find a way. If Doge goes up, I'm going to find a way to give it back to our community. But
Okay.
Michael Shirebeak, that is.
By the way,
that is
Dave, I
crazy
need to get
money at us.
our community account open this week. I promised the community that we were going to open up an account at public for them, and I was going to throw like $10K into it and let our Discord community invest it however they like and get to keep the money from it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make good on my promise this week. I promise. Going to carve out some time.
Chris, have you even opened your public account yet?
No, I'm going to.
Let me invite you, and then you can get free stocks.
You are so.
No, you'll get $5 of free. No, I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what the offer is. But it could be up to $1,000. I don't know what the offer is.
That's fine. I want to open.
But follow me. But if you as soon as you get on, do follow me, because I'm at Dave Hansen on public now.
I will invite me, Dave, because I'm going to open up the Dumb Money TV Discord portfolio that we are going to have nothing to do with. It's just going to be the Discord community investing that money. They have their own. The mods have been working on a voting system so that the community can vote and trade stocks inside of the Dumb Money portfolio, and then we will have some system to where like annually X% of the gains are pulled out, goes to the community in terms of whatever the community decides, and they could vote on that as well. Maybe it's something to charity, maybe it's a party, maybe they're actually sharing the money. I have no idea, but whatever the community wants to do with it, they can do with it. But we're gonna start with 10K, and we might throw more money into that over time, okay, for the community. But it's our gift to you guys for being such an amazing community. And we're just gonna start small, and who knows, that could end up being a 6-figure or 7-figure account someday. How cool would that be if our Discord community was managing a 7-figure portfolio that they then got to spend, they got to keep the earnings from it, decide where the earnings from it go, right? That would be super cool. So that's coming as well, guys. Pizza party. That'd be a big pizza party.
Big Dumb Money pizza party.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
All right, I think we said it all, guys. I do have more work to do for tomorrow's episode, so that's a mystery episode coming tomorrow. Please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up before you leave.
Can I find out what we're talking about?
You already know, dude.
Do I?
Yeah. You check your text. We'll see. If you don't, it's my fault. I'm sorry. Dave's fault.
I don't even know, actually. I haven't made a thumbnail. I know that.
All right.
Did we have a final idea? Because I knew that we had...
Yeah,
was it the one we were going to do today?
It was today, yeah.
Oh, well, we've already teased it.
No, all right, whatever. Just let's end this up. All right, dumbmoney.tv is all the stuff. Follow us on Twitter, Discord, dumbmoney.tv, all the podcasts. What do we do? Podcasts.
Oh, we're on YouTube too.
Oh, I need to make... I have not uploaded our podcast in a while. Sorry
what do you
for
guys
the
think about that
podcast
intro?
watchers.
Was that intro? Did you guys like the new intro trailer better than the last one? We've been working on it for a long time. trying to get us to all agree.
I
on
edited the original one, and we had our team do the new one, and we went through how many, like 11 revisions.
Yeah,
Sure, they're
I thought it was. I thought
I'm sure they.
awesome.
I'm sure they hate me and my. Can you move that like four frames earlier? If you didn't watch it, rewind. It's at the
They
beginning
like
of this
it,
one.
Dave. Everyone's saying it's better, man. I'm
Okay,
so
good.
happy we did it. I feel like we should have done that like 6 months ago. When now that all we talk about is stocks, that intro trailer is when we were more focused on startups. So yeah, I'm happy with
All
it
right.
to you guys. Thanks.
That's going to do it for today. We will see you right back here tomorrow for the big mystery episode that we will be teasing. So hit subscribe and turn on the bell if you're at all interested in seeing that. You can follow us on Twitter too, because we do stream this live on Twitter and Facebook and what's the gamer one? Twitch. We're everywhere you want to be. But mainly just watch us on YouTube because that's our home base. We're Dumb Money. We will see you here tomorrow.